What if the habits that shape your life weren't chosen by you at all, but conditioned into you long before you realized it? Have you ever wondered why you get stuck in certain habits and how they formed in the first place? The simple answer is this: behind every habit, there is a pattern, and behind every pattern, there is a cause. Every time a child repeats a behavior, something reinforces it. Every time a behavior disappears, something stops reinforcing it. Tantrums, sharing, homework, confidence, fear, none of these appear randomly. For almost half a century, psychology believed something radical: that if we want to understand human beings, we should stop studying the mind and study behavior instead. No emotions, no thoughts, no inner experiences, just behavior. This movement was called behaviorism, and whether we realize it or not, it still shapes how we parent, how we teach, and even how social media influences us today. But to understand how powerful this idea is, we have to go back to where it started. In the early 90s, a Russian psychologist named Ivan Pavlov was studying digestion in dogs, but he noticed something strange. The dogs began salivating before the food arrived. They salivated when they heard the lab assistant's footsteps. They had learned to associate a neutral sound with food. This became known as classical conditioning. Learning through association, a neutral stimulus, like a bell, paired repeatedly with food, eventually triggers salivation on its own. Now, let me tell you why this matters for parents and teachers. Children don't just learn facts, they associate emotions with experiences. If learning is always paired with anxiety, school becomes stress. If reading is paired with warmth and closeness, books become comfort. Research today confirms this. When learning is paired with warmth and safety, the hippocampus strengthens long term retention. Behaviorism showed us that association shapes emotional life, and that idea was revolutionary. In 1913, the American psychologist John Watson made a bold claim. He said psychology should stop studying consciousness altogether. Why would he make such a claim? Because you can't observe thoughts. And if you can't observe something, you can't measure it scientifically. Watson believed psychology should focus only on observable behavior. He famously claimed that given a dozen healthy infants, he could train any one of them to become anything: a doctor, an artist, a thief, regardless of their background. Watson believed environment shapes everything. He demonstrated emotional conditioning in the controversial Little Albert experiment, where a baby learned to fear a white rat after it was paired with a loud, frightening noise. Today, we would never conduct such an experiment, but the message was powerful. Even emotions can be conditioned. What is the implication? Behavior can be engineered, and that idea deeply influenced education and parenting. Then came B.F. Skinner. Skinner expanded behaviorism with a new idea. Behavior is shaped not just by association, but by consequences. This is called operant conditioning. The formula is simple: behavior, consequence, future behavior changes. If a consequence increases a behavior, it is called reinforcement. If it decreases a behavior, it is called punishment. Important clarification: positive doesn't mean good, negative doesn't mean bad. Positive means something is added, negative means something is removed. For example, a child cleans their room, parent prizes them. Prize is added, cleaning increases. That's positive reinforcement. A child does homework, parent stops reminding them. Nagging is removed, Homework increases. That's negative reinforcement. Now, here's the powerful part. Attention is one of the strongest reinforcers in human behavior. If a child throws a tantrum and receives intense attention, even negative attention, that behavior may increase. Not because the child is bad, but because behavior that gets reinforced repeats. Skinner showed that behavior is not random. It follows patterns. And once you see those patterns, you can't unsee them. However, behaviorism had limits. It largely ignored thoughts, motivation, attachment, internal meaning. In the mid 20th century, critics like Noam Chomsky argued that behaviorism couldn't fully explain language development. Children don't just mimic language, they generate new sentences they have never heard before. This sparked the cognitive revolution. Psychology slowly reintroduced the mind, and behaviorism lost dominance. But here is the important truth. It didn't disappear. It evolved. The behaviorism gave us something incredibly useful. The understanding that behavior is shaped by environment. So the question becomes, how do we shape it? Through fear or through play? Play-based learning works because it uses natural reinforcement. Curiosity is reinforcing. Connection is reinforcing. Joy is reinforcing. When children explore, discover, build, pretend, they are not just playing. They are strengthening neural pathways associated with learning. Instead of sit still and memorize, we can create environments where exploration is rewarded, effort is noticed, mistakes are safe. Here are 5 practical principles drawn from behaviorism. Reinforce what you want to see more of. Attention is powerful. Be careful. Not accidentally reinforce what you want to reduce. Tantrum, long negotiation, reinforcement. Use specific praise, not just good job, but I noticed how patient you were waiting for your turn. Use connection as a reinforcement. Play together, laugh together. Connection strengthens behavior more deeply than sticker charts. Reduce punishment. Increase structure. Clear expectations shape behavior better than fear. Every classroom, every home is a behavior shaping environment. Behaviorism tried to explain children without ever looking inside them. Yet, it left us with the truth we can't ignore. Behavior follows patterns. Patterns follow reinforcement. And reinforcement comes from us, which means we have power. Not the power to control, but the power to guide through safety, through play, through connection, through the environments we create every single day. Every home, every classroom is shaping a child's future moment by moment. But behavior is only half of the story. In the next video, we'll explore the other half, attachment. Why children clinch, cry, explore, trust, or withdraw, and how the quality of our connection shapes their entire emotional world. Thank you for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe. It will help the channel grow. And if you have any comments, please feel free to post on the channel. Until next time, take care.